Hello there forest folk, and today we are going to be looking at how to make bandsaw boxes. As you can see here, we've got a selection of blocks of timber from offcuts from other projects. So we're going to look at all the ins and outs of how to turn something like this into something like that. So we'll see you in a minute. So this is the piece of timber that we've selected. This is actually a piece of Downy birch that's been roughed out into a square with the chainsaw. So we're a bit rough there at the moment. The next thing that we're going to do is what I like to do is actually smooth things up best we can with the use of the surface planer. What that does actually, it saves time later on with sanding, and yeah, so we'll get on with that. Right, so there we are, much smoother, much squarer. So the next process is to do our design, transfer that onto the timber. I quite fancy doing, well, we'll call it an Art Deco design perhaps. Anyway, we'll do that and see how it turns out in a minute. Then we'll go on to the next stage. Well, there we are, that's our design that we've decided on. So our next stage is to mark out where the drawers are going to be in these two things here. This bottom bit might end up getting cut off, I'm not sure just at the moment, so we'll see how that pans out later on. But we'll mark our drawers out, and then we will be cutting in to cut them out. So there we go. Right, so one thing you must not forget to do before you start cutting the drawers out is cut the back section off. I've got the fence set up at 10mm. That should be okay for something this size, well in proportion. So I'll do that second. Yeah, so it's just as well I decided to take the bottom piece off because I am at the maximum limit of the bandsaw fence guide on this one. So yeah, there we go. All our components are cut now. You're probably wondering why I've cut it into so many pieces. What the problem is doing a tight angled turn in the bandsaw and still keeping your box relatively tight fitting, like so. So what I've decided to do is to just cut it off, and we shall glue these little bits in later on. And as you can see, that's what it's going to be like. So you'll have to see how that turns out in a minute. So our next stage is going to be cut the front and the back off our drawers, and then we shall cut out the shape of the drawer that we want. Right, so what we're going to do is set the fence up now and cut 10 mils off the drawer front and back, like so. So here we are. This is the next piece that we're going to cut out, creating the drawer on the bottom drawer and the top drawer. Take a fence off. So yeah, this is a problem with tight angles and your bandsaw blade. You can get narrow ones. I've got a 1/4 inch one there, so you know, the narrower the better, the tighter the corners you can turn. Anyway, we'll go in the other way with this one. Yeah, same problem again. So on the corners, I kind of recommend that you just go really gently, really slowly, and just make room for the blade to be able to turn in your curve cut. So yeah, right. So that's all our components cut. Let's see what the next step of the process is. Right, so here we are with all our components laid out in front of us. It's probably a good idea to mark them at this point so that you know the backs and the fronts and which orientation the drawer is going to fit into the box that you've created. Reason being is these boxes are rarely symmetrical, so it'll all only go together one way. So after marking it, what I like to do is actually sand it all up, or the internals of the drawers, as much as possible, because it's just easier to do it whilst it's in pieces. So we'll move over to the sander and get the inside sanded up.